Hi friends, welcome to my cozy crafty cabin. So today we're doing something a bit different. I've recently learned how to crochet and I'm absolutely obsessed. And I wanted to try to combine my, two joys or passions, my hobbies of crochet and paper crafting. So that's what we're going to try to do today with this project. So let me show you what I ended up making. So I had attempted to make my first granny squares and I thought they turned out so cute, but listen, I'm very much a beginner, so they're not perfect. But I wanted to make some like cards kind of inspired by these granny squares. So kind of like a granny square style card is what I'm calling it. And I'll walk you through the three different designs I ended up making. So I used scraps for all of these cards. And the granny squares I made, there's like navy, a light blue, and like a pale yellow in all of them. So I first just like went through my scrap bin and tried to pull papers that were, kind of in those colors, which listen, I discovered that I have like no yellow scraps basically. But so nothing's an exact match, but I was just kind of looking for, blues and like kind of like a yellowy, kind of colors to use for these cards. So for this first one that I made, I ended up using, so I'm trying to like make kind of like this flower, right? This is like, I think it's called like a daisy granny square. And I have these mini punches that's a circle shape and a heart shape. And they're about 1 inch diameter. So for this first design, I use those punches to try to like make a flower shape. So if you don't have though, punches or like a die cutting machine, you can definitely, cut out your own shapes. Or I would even, just like cut out a flower petal. You don't have to use a heart. I was just kind of using what I had on hand and seeing, just kind of experimenting with what I had. So the other two cards, I don't use that heart punch. So I do use that 1 inch diameter circle for the centers of of all three cards. But then the other two designs are just, my normal paper scraps that I use my paper trimmer. I'll put up on the screen all the dimensions, of what is on each card in case you want to follow along and make any of these designs or layouts. But yeah, for the most part, I'm going to leave this like just a chill craft with me video. I won't talk the whole time. We'll set it to music. I just want it to be like kind of cozy and relaxing. Let me know if you have a favorite of the three different designs. And let me know if anyone, like, if you crochet as well. Like, do you make cards? Do you also crochet? I am honestly, like, so obsessed. I recommend learning how to crochet to anyone. It has been so relaxing. It's so rewarding. And it's one of those things, like when you start, you're just gonna be bad, okay? It's gonna be hard and it's not gonna look like what it's supposed to. But it's one of those things like each time you sit down and like go to make something or practice a stitch, like you get better and better. So like you quickly see progress and you're creating something at the end of it, right? So it's just like so rewarding and I love it and it's so relaxing. Like I feel like if you have anxiety or you're stressed, like it calms the mind and the body. So I just highly recommend. I'm so glad I made my mom teach me. She's crocheted like her whole life, and several years ago, I wanted her to try to teach me, but I had like no patience for it. So I gave up very quickly. I was just not patient. And more recently, what it was last spring, when she was visiting, I had her sit down and try to teach me again, and I'm so glad. But I start my two first things the two first things I made were just like scrunchies, And then I didn't touch it since until like about a month and a half ago. I picked it up again and I've just been making, different things. So these were my first mini little granny squares I made. And yeah, I love it. There's just so many things you can make. There's so many different like stitches. It's incredible. Anyways, I will stop talking and we'll set the rest to music. I hope you enjoy, and I'll come back at the end when I show you all 3 cards. Okay, so here's the final cards and the little granny squares that kind of inspired each card. So in the granny squares are all like it's the same pattern and the same color yarn, just kind of in a different order. But yeah, let me know if you have a favorite of the three. I think my favorite might be the second one, but I love them all actually. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was relaxing, and I'll see you guys soon for my next one.